casi acabando esta edición 2022 de Resurrection Fest. Estoy aquí con Maik de Heaven Shall Burn. Maik, welcome to Resurrection Fest again.
Again, yeah, fifth time. I don't know. We're here since the very beginnings. I think so. Yeah, and good to be back. Good to be back in Galicia.
How many changes do you see on the festivals as the first time you play here until now?
Oh, compared to the first time, it's like, I don't know, 20 times bigger, something more professional, more bands from all over the world. And back in the days, it was more like a metalcore, hardcore kind of festival, and now real metal is taking place as well. So it's been a long road, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's true. Well, I'm glad that you like how this developed at this point. This is really good. But someone that has been from the very beginning, is really interesting to have your opinion on this.
Yeah, it's very interesting because Resurrection is a festival that kind of grew with our band. You know, when we started out, we were a small band on a small festival. Now we are a big band at a big festival. So everything's cool about that. I can't
That's actually a great way to put it. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about music. You released an album which is called Of Truth and Sacrifice on 2020?
Yeah.
On March 2020,
no,
right?
2 years ago. 2 years ago already.
Was it 2020?
No, it wasn't. In 2020, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it's so noisy here. It's in 2020. In the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
That was really risky. Why did you decide to do that? Because so many bands decide to hold that material until we get back to normality in order to release it.
Yeah, it was in the beginning. In Germany, it was kind of beginning of pandemic and stuff, and we actually just wanted to start all over again. You know, I mean, you have to imagine we didn't have only like 2 years of pandemic. Before pandemic, we had like 1 or 2 years off with the band, you know. So actually, we had like a 4 years break now, or 3 years at least. And we just wanted to put out the album by all means, you know. And it reached like #1 in German charts and everything. So it was a huge success. And yeah, it was very unfortunate that we couldn't promote it live, you know, out there. But it was definitely the right choice to put it out, because at that point nobody knew there would be like 2 years without live music, you know, and all the bands recording their albums and telling their labels, okay, we have a new album, and the labels are like, what the fuck? Well, when should we put out all that stuff, you know? So I'm very happy that I don't have to decide now when to put out the record. So we just put it out in the right moment to us. That was a very smart move, but we didn't know it was smart back in the day. Yeah.
You're lucky, but it really did work. So
yeah.
Congratulations for that. And that, as you said, it's been 2 years ago. Are you planning to release new material soon, or what is the plan?
There might be new material, but not like an album or something.
Maybe like singles.
Maybe we do a single or like a video or something like that. I mean, we always write new stuff, you know, but there is not an album scheduled now. Like, the last album is so great, there can be a few more years until we put out a new one. Yeah.
I want to tell the audience a little bit about this very special song, which is My Heart on the Ocean, and everything that you're doing to support Sea Shepherd through it. Because you're not the only or the first band who's been under this microphone today or this week that's been supporting Sea Shepherd. We had Alan Weapery, we have Ujira, we have so many bands that they're like, you know, really committed with the cause. So yeah, tell us.
Yeah, that song is really special to us in one way, because it's about the ethics, why Heaven Shall Burn was founded. You know, we are all very political and engaged with environmental movements and stuff like that. And on the other hand, we have very close friends in Sea Shepherd, you know, like former members of the crew in Sea Shepherd, and we wanted to dedicate that song to them, you know, and like the video is even dedicated to a very good guy from Sea Shepherd who's not alive anymore, unfortunately. and that makes the song also very personal, you know. And yeah, those guys are our heroes, you know. I mean, we're standing on stage collecting money for them, you know, and empowering the organization, do public speeches about it. But those guys are at the very front line, you know, so they are our inspiration, and that song should be something like maybe like a war cry for them, you know. That was the intention behind the song, yeah. And even like the video was cutted by one of the Sea Shepherd video guys, and like all the stock footage, all the material we have in the video is either shot for us on certain campaigns or stock footage from Sea Shepherd, and yeah, they were very involved with it. And that was also important that we do something that the people on the front line on the ships from Sea Shepherd would think is cool, you know, not just some band using a logo and doing some, I don't know, fancy talk about that shit, you know. It should be something that people in Sea Shepherd could also identify with, you know.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Absolutely, absolutely. You just said something about inspiration, and I heard somewhere that you get inspiration to, you know, write the lyrics and write the music through the turning on the TV.
Yeah.
Because everything is so bad, and you know, like bad news, and that inspires you to just really get the message across to your public. So right now the world is in chaos. So what is the things that you see on TV right now that it really makes you angry in order to maybe get the inspiration to write new music?
Well, in the past few hundred years, the world has always been in chaos. You know, the only thing is the chaos is a little closer to us now. You know, that makes us more aware. But it's one question I get a lot is like, oh yeah, you're a political band, so do you think we can still save the world? And I'm always like, what an arrogant question is that? You know, because for like 30 or 40% of world population, the world is already down the drain. It's gone, you know, there is no question for them, can you save it or not? It's lost already. Like, can you save the world is like a question we here in the West and in the Northern Hemisphere, you know, like ask ourselves. But if you see it on a global level, there has always been chaos and the world was fucked up, you know. It's just a lot closer to us now. And now we're realizing it, and it will still take some time until we realize that it's most likely too late to change something.
That's not really, you know, that's hopeless.
That's the truth. I mean, there are a lot of party bands here at the festival. You might interview them if you want to have other answers. But Heaven Shall Burn is about telling the truth. You know, that doesn't help sell records, of course, but that's why we founded the band, to be political and to tell what we think, you know.
There's one thing that, you know, as you said, you write all these lyrics because you need to release that frustration or that anger on your music, or it's because you're trying to open people's eyes and, you know, putting that message across? This is a bit different, you know.
Yeah, it's not about frustration. Like, frustration has a certain vibe of giving up, you know, or giving in or something.
You just said that everything is 40% of the population is down the drain, so that's a little bit of giving up.
Totally, but I will fight the lost fight, you know. I don't care. I mean, what can we do? I mean, even with a conscious that it's most likely too late, you have to go forward and do what you think it's right, you know. And that for me means like being political, showing solidarity with weaker people, you know, living vegan, for example. That is something that could change the world. I mean, you can change the world with doing nothing, you know, just be vegan, you know. That would be a huge step forward for a lot of problems, you know, on a personal level. And so frustration is not like the power source for Heaven Shall Burn. It's more anger, but anger in a way that makes you go out and want to change things and fight. That is more like the source of power, yeah.
There's another thing that really got my attention about you guys, that all of you still working on your normal jobs, and like music for you is kind of like a hobby.
Yeah.
So I have two questions about that. How difficult it is to go on tour when you have to keep a job, a normal job, like get days off, or how you guys coordinate that?
I mean, it sounds totally strange, but the bigger the band is, the easier it is.
Really?
Yeah, because
Why?
well, I mean, just example, if you want to do a European tour, if you're a support band, you have to rely on the schedule for the main band and stuff like that. But if you are the main band, everybody works after your schedule, and I mean, we have all-day jobs, but we do it like 50%. We're not working from 9 to 5 or something. We're working like 3 days,
Part-time.
3 days a week and something. Yeah,
okay.
so 50% part-time most likely. Yeah, but that has a huge advantage because you have a life beside music. You're not into that fucked up music business with all your life. You go like right after that concert, we fly home, and like tomorrow morning I will be in my office and doing totally different stuff, and I'm gonna looking forward to go out next weekend and play again. There's not a week of frustration in the music business in between the shows, and that makes the show tonight more energetic and the show next weekend even more energetic, and on stage I collect power for the week in the office, and so it's a really cool balance. And the bigger the band is, the easier it gets to manage all the schedule stuff, because you can do cherry picking. You only have to play one festival at the weekend for the same money. Like back in the days, you had to play 5 festivals to get the same money. So it sounds strange, but it's easier. The bigger the band, the more spare time there is for the band members.
Sounds like you never wanted to be part of the music industry somehow, because like as you said, like I got the feeling that you feel that it's a bit toxic, and it's like all these things going on inside. And is that true? Like your normal job is something that it helps you stay out of that?
Well, toxic is a very strong word,
I know,
but there is a lot of stuff we hate about the music business,
Like what?
Like, well, I mean, if you're a smaller band and you play with a bigger band and you want to sell your T-shirt for 15 euros and they say, fuck you, you're going to sell it for 25 euros or 30 euros like we do. Like smaller bands have to do, oh yeah, okay. We just say, fuck you. We sell shirts for 15 euros or we drive home. We don't need that show tonight, we don't need music to pay our rent, we don't need music to fill our fridge, we have our other jobs, and that is a huge freedom you have, and if you move with that freedom within the music business, if you can say fuck you when nobody else can say fuck you, it gives you a lot of respect and people start treating you different, and that brings you forward. Well, it wasn't like a conscious decision to do it like that, but that's what we realized during the years. Yeah.
I love it. I think you guys are so genuine and so down to earth, and there's not, seriously, there's not something that we see very often in a big band.
Thank you.
So I love that after so many years you keep yourself like really humble, really down to earth, and we obviously love you here in Resurrection Fest. That's why you play so many times that you cannot even remember.
We're coming back every time, yeah. That's why we're coming.
We love that. We are like a family here, and thank you so much for this interview. And I hope you have a really good show today. And see you soon. Well, we're gonna see you soon for sure. You're gonna come back.
Yeah. We'll be back in Spain, and with our. There's a big tour at the beginning of next year with. Heaven Shall Burn, Trivium, Obituary, and Malevolence. Like all over Europe, and I guess like 2 or 3 shows in Spain. And yeah, that's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to that one, yeah. But first, the show tonight.
First the show tonight, but keep in mind that there's a tour coming up to Spain. So actually really good bands, 4 good ones together. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This was like from Heaven Shall Burn for Resurrection Fest TV 2022.